3 weeks ago, if you'd said the United States would finish top of its World Cup group, clinch a knockout spot after only 2 games, and do most of it without its best player on the field, you'd have been laughed out of the room. Pundits had this team penciled in as the host that scrapes through and bows out early. Polite applause, see you in 4 years. That's not the team we're looking at right now. What's happening with this US side is the kind of thing nobody wants to admit out loud yet, because admitting it means rewriting the bracket in their heads. So let's say it plainly. The United States has quietly become the dark horse nobody can stop anymore. And by the end of this video, you're going to understand exactly why and why the rest of the field should be nervous. Start with where the doubt came from, because it was real. This is a country that, since returning to the World Cup in 1990, had never once locked up a knockout place after just 2 matches. Their high water mark in the modern era is a single run past the round of 16, and that was 24 years ago. A generation. Most American fans watching right now weren't even born for it. So the skepticism wasn't disrespect. It was history. Add in that Christian Pulisic, the face of the program, the one genuine superstar, pulled up with a calf injury and missed the opener and the second game, and you had every reason to brace for disappointment. Host nation, automatic qualification, no real test in qualifying. The narrative wrote itself, untested, overhyped, about to be exposed. Then they actually played. Game 1. Paraguay. A team that does not concede easily, that grinds and frustrates and drags you into the mud. The US beat them 4-1. Not a nervy 1-0 where you hang on and thank the goalkeeper. 4 goals. At home, in front of a stadium that sounded like a club final, this team came out and dismantled a side built to make life miserable. And here's the detail people glossed over. Pulisic only played 45 minutes of that match. 45. In that half he was splitting double teams and torturing the right side of the Paraguay defense. Sure, but then he came off, and the US kept scoring anyway. Game 2. Australia in Seattle. The Socceroos are organized, physical, the opposite of glamorous, and exactly the kind of team that ends pretty footballing projects. The US won 2-0. Controlled. Scored early, which bought them the freedom to manage the game on their terms instead of chasing it. 2 games, 2 wins, 6 points, and a spot in the knockout rounds already sealed, because while the Americans were taking care of business, Turkey, the team most people tipped to win the group, was busy losing to Paraguay and going out without scoring a single goal across the whole group stage. Let that sink in. The pre-tournament favorite to top this group finished dead last. The team everyone doubted finished first. Now here's the part that should genuinely worry the rest of the tournament. The thing that separates a nice story from a dangerous team. This US side did all of that: top the group, clinched early, beat 2 awkward, well-drilled opponents, and their best attacker played a grand total of 1/2 out of 4. 1/2. Think about what that means. Most teams at this World Cup are 1 injury away from collapse. You take their talisman off the pitch and the whole thing deflates. Take Pulisic out of this US team and they kept winning. They found goals from defenders, from midfielders, from movement and pressing and structure, rather than from one magic moment by one magic player. Sergino Dest is the clearest example. Pochettino looked at a player everyone knew as a fullback and said, "No, you're a winger now," and Dest turned into a ball progression machine on the right, dribbling through pressure and driving the team up the field. That's not luck. That's a coach who's found something in his squad that the squad didn't even know it had. When a team can lose its biggest name and not skip a beat, it stops being a one-man act. It becomes a problem you can't game plan around. You can't just say, "Stop Pulisic," anymore. There's no single plug to pull. So who's actually driving this? Because the depth only matters if the pieces are good, and these pieces are very good. Start in midfield, because that's where this team is being built. Tyler Adams has been a ball magnet at the base of the midfield, winning tackle after tackle, leading the counter-press, snuffing out attacks before they become dangerous. He is the quiet reason the US has looked so settled. Next to him, Weston McKennie has been everywhere, roaming, breaking lines, adding the on-ball quality that turns defending into attacking in a single touch. Behind them, the back line has held up far better than anyone feared. Alex Freeman, yes, son of a Pro Bowl receiver, An athlete to his bones produced one of the moments of the tournament for the US with a goal against Australia that survived a long, agonizing video review before the stadium erupted. That image, a young right back roaring after a goal that nearly got chalked off, tells you everything about this group's belief. And up top, Fowler and Balogun has been doing the kind of work that gets Europe's biggest clubs picking up the phone. He's leading the line with the confidence of a striker who knows this is his stage. This isn't a team carried by one star and a prayer. It's a spine. A real one. Now, I can already hear the comments. They lost to Turkey 3-2. Some dark horse. So let's deal with it honestly because it actually strengthens the case. By the time that final group game kicked off, it meant nothing. The US had already topped the group. Turkey were already eliminated. So Pochettino did what smart coaches do with a dead rubber. He rotated almost the entire team, rested his key men, and gave minutes to players who'd barely kicked a ball. The result was a wild, ragged 3-2 defeat that ended on a goal in the 8th minute of stoppage time. Frustrating? Of course. Nobody likes losing. But here's what it really showed. Even with a near-completely rotated lineup, a patched-together second string was a stoppage-time poke away from grabbing a draw against a team that came in desperate to salvage some pride. The fringe players competed. The depth went all the way down the roster. A team's character isn't only in its best 11. It's in what happens when the best 11 sit down. And what happened was that the backups went toe-to-toe to the final whistle. Then there's the factor that turns this from a good group stage run into a genuine threat for the knockouts. Pulisic is back. He returned off the bench in that Turkey game, his first action since the opener, and he says he's feeling good. So picture the math. This team topped its group, beat two stubborn sides, and proved it can win without its superstar, and now it gets that superstar back, fresh, with a calf that's had 2 full games to heal, right as the games start to actually matter. Most teams peak in the group stage and fade. This one is doing the opposite. It's adding its best weapon at the exact moment the competition gets harder. That's the timing of a team that's set up to make a run. And don't underestimate the stadiums. 50,000-60,000 people singing the anthem before kickoff. The players have talked about feeding off it, using it as fuel. No travel fatigue, no hostile crowd, no foreign altitude or unfamiliar climate. Every knockout game is essentially a home game. In a tournament this physically brutal, that edge is enormous. So what's next? The round of 32 sends the US against Bosnia and Herzegovina at Levi's Stadium, and the bookmakers have the Americans as clear favorites, better than a 58% chance to win. They even get to stay out west, no cross-country flight, after finishing top of the group. Win that, and history starts whispering. Remember, this program has only gone past the round of 16 once in the modern era. This team top of its group, deep, healthy, peaking, playing at home, has the best setup any US side has had in 24 years to finally break that ceiling. I'm not telling you they're going to lift the trophy. Brazil, France, Spain, Argentina, those giants are still standing. What I'm telling you is that nobody wants to draw the United States right now. A team you can't plan around, that doesn't tire, that doesn't travel, and that just got its best player back? That's the definition of a dark horse. And the field is starting to realize it might already be too late to stop them. So here's my question for you. How far does this US team actually go? Round of 16 and out again, same old story? Or is this the year the ceiling finally breaks? Drop your prediction in the comments, tell me the exact round they reach, and let's see who calls it. If you want the sharpest, fastest World Cup 2026 breakdowns as the knockouts heat up, hit subscribe and ring the bell because it's about to get loud. This is World Cup Pulse. I'll see you in the next one.